You know that feeling that when you enter a showroom and your heart tells you, I want something cool. But then your brain tells you that I want something that will eventually get me home without a tow truck. That is essentially the Super Meteor 650 versus the Dark Flag 500 Commander. So right here we have the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. No introductions needed, I believe, as most of you are well acquainted with this by now. And right here is the, no, it's not a Nightster, it is the Benda Dark Flag 500 Commander. New and fresh off the boat for 2026. Today I'm going to give both of them a spin and compare them side by side. But before we do, I would like to take the opportunity to thank both Royal Enfield and Benda of Singapore for making this video possible. If any of these two bikes have caught your eye, both Royal Enfield and Benda have flagship showrooms in Singapore where you can find this and cop a feel for yourself. Google Map links will be in the description down below. Thank you Royal Enfield and Benda. Now let's get back to the video. This is the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. It is what happens when someone sketches proper cruiser after 3 pints and a pack of potato chips and actually went home and built it. First, the engine. 648cc parallel twin. Doesn't shout, doesn't scream, it just goes dagga dagga in a low, dignified rumble. It's not in a hurry and, like a good butler, always there, never dramatic. Tons of low down torque, you don't so much accelerate as ooze forward. Perfect for cruising, overtaking buses and pretending the PIE is a music video set. The riding position, feet slightly forward, hands up, spine relaxed. It looks right. Classic cruiser proportion, proper metal, and a presence that's all heritage than designed by a committee of TikTok interns. However, it's heavy, not just a bit chunky, properly heavy. Pushing it around a car park is like guiding your own mini moon. It also does not feel exactly like a tech festival. No fancy electronic wizardry going on here. A simple turn-by-turn navigation display exists. It's got more analog vibes than your dad's CD collection, in a rather charming manner. The Super Meteor is more about enjoying a steady and relaxing cruise than warp speed. Overtaking requires a bit of planning and prayer. And because it is so traditional, some people will call it basic. Usually the same people who think riding modes make them faster. So the Super Meteor is like a well-tailored suit. Not the flashiest thing in a room, but it will look good when everything else has gone out of fashion and caught fire. And this is the Benda Dark Flag 500 Commander. It is a lot less like a motorcycle and more like something you would park next to a spaceship. Where RE gives you heritage, this gives you half an A-Maths textbook on the spec sheet. Electronic rear air suspension, traction control, cruise control, a TFT screen, idle shutdown tech. It's not as iPad on wheels as a CF Moto 800 MT, but it's getting there. You got a high revving 496cc V4 with more power out of its smaller engine. It is incredibly high-strung and amazing when you are feeling like thrashing your throttle hand. Most V4s suffer from terrible fuel economy. The venerable VMAX averages about 12 km per litre, so the Dark Flag tries to compensate by shutting off the 2 cylinders in the rear when idling. It also comes with a belt drive, which means less maintenance, smoother feel, and no chain fling decorating your rear wheel like modern art. electronic air suspension that automatically adapts when you are moving or stopped, and stationary. Perfect if you're somehow exceptionally short. And on anything short of a series of speed bumps, it glides really smoothly. Styling, this thing didn't just turn heads. I think I snapped a few necks over the last few days. Aggressive, futuristic, super loud. It's definitely bold. If you're an introvert, this is definitely not for you. The Dark Flag has a lot of main character energy going on here. A lot of it is kinda like a rolling conversation starter or argument with your work from home neighbors over your noisy stock exhaust. So you've got two very different flavors here. The Super Meteor is for the rider who wants to cruise, relax, and trust that if something goes wrong, the nearest shop uncle has definitely seen it before and can easily work on it. The Dark Flag, on the other hand, is for the rider who wants to brag that they have cruise control and electronic air suspension, and they didn't have to bankrupt themselves on a luxury brand for any of that. The Enfield is wafty, torquey, and unhurried. It's like riding a sofa that's had enough espresso to stay awake. The Benda is sharper, more eager, more rev happy. Feels like it's constantly asking you to misbehave a little. The Enfield has ABS, some basics, done. It's a motorcycle, end of story. It's nice to be assured that as long as humanity still drills for oil and makes petrol, it will never be irrelevant. But Benda has honestly come out of left field suddenly, and it is a good thing. I mean, yes, a lot of the things seen on this bike have been done before in the past, hell, going back even 20 years ago. But they've always been in the domain of flagship machines with legacy manufacturers that have historically been unreachable by a younger audience. And now, people like you and me can actually own something with all these in one package. But if I had the opportunity to take home one of these, I think I would probably take the Super Meteor 650 because I like it. I know I sounded really excited about the Dark Flag's modern features, and yes, this is absolutely brilliant. But I like this. Let me put it to you guys this way. You can have a great night out at Hai Di Lao with your best mates on your birthday. The venue brings out the newest and most dynamic entertainment. And you are the star of the show. The experience is fresh and exciting. It is modernity in a nutshell. But I like my mom's traditional ABC soup. Sure, it's not fancy. She ignores the fact that I like a bit more MSG and I have to double boil for more flavor. But it's simple. It's familiar. It's my comfort food. I'm a simple man set in his old ways, and the Super Meteor delivers by serving up that comfortable familiarity with the important basics: an engine, two wheels, and a seat. Well, this is just this not so old fart's opinion. Let me know down in the comments which of these two bikes speak to you the most, and why would you want to have one over the other. I'm sure each of you has your own story as to what makes either the Benda or the Royal Enfield better for yourself. Let me know down in the comments. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my camera woman behind the camera and my ghost rider with of course, without I couldn't have brought two bikes in the middle of nowhere by myself. So if you like this video, do remember to give me a like, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and stay safe out there. I'll see you next time. Peace out and bye-bye.